Hey YouTube fans, it's Darlene here. How's everybody today? I hope you're all well, happy, healthy. Life is treating you kindly. Okay. I'm not going to take those yet because I didn't ask. Okay, so we'll be doing a reading, as the title said, on your deceased loved one or ancestor. And I already have somebody coming through, as per usual. So before we get into it, please stay to the end. I'm going to tell you how you can win a free reading and give you details on that. And let me get my business out of the way. I'm going to shuffle while I am talking. Let me just set the intention here. Okay, thank you. That was quick. And I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see these, but I'll hold them up for you as we go along. So business, yes, thank you all for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you because I know your time is valuable. And I also am very grateful when you hit that like button. And if you like this kind of content, please subscribe. I'm just getting started here on YouTube, and you know it's a constant effort for us YouTubers, and we appreciate each and every one of you. So thank you so much if you do that. And I do try to respond to my comments, so I hope you'll be patient with me if I don't get to it right away, but I will respond as quickly as I can. I thank you all. And also do have some slots open for private readings if you'd like. The details are in the or just email me. I don't know what I've got in my description box at the moment, but just click on that down arrow and just email me somewhere down there. Okay, to the read. I have a policeman today coming through, and he's an attractive, fit. I'm going to say he's 35-ish, maybe 35, 40, something like that, but 35. Dark hair. He's Caucasian with dark hair. And he's showing me how he died. Now, if you guys have watched me often, you know that's not always relevant to the message they want to bring through. Sometimes they don't. They feel like it's more important that you remember them in life than about how they died. In some cases, such as this, he wants to talk about how he died. He died of a gunshot. He was on a call at work in his car, police car, and he responded to a call, or either, wait a minute, he's correcting me. Maybe he hadn't called it in until the last minute. It was something I think that he saw going on, or that he maybe he had an informant or something that he knew was going on, but he didn't. He's showing me somebody else was there, another policeman was there with him. And I'm trying to discern if it was in the car with him or this other policeman came up in a separate vehicle. And I believe it was the latter. But he was shot by, well, I'm seeing a group of, it looks like there are 3 youngish, 20s maybe, African-American males. But I'm also sensing there was a 4th one who was out of sight, so if that's relevant. And then there were 2 that kind of really stepped forward here. There was something going on. I don't know if it was a drug deal. I don't know if it was, I don't really know, but either he happened upon it or somehow he had prior knowledge that it might be going down, like a tip of some sort. So when he gets to the scene, I see him getting out of his car as if he's just checking it out. He's getting out of the car, and as he looks up, these other young men see him, and they realize there is some sort of recognition. Either they knew that he knew what was going on, or they knew each other somehow, and this policeman knew immediately, I guess it could be both, what was happening, or again, he had prior knowledge, some kind of something, but there was not like a conversation that went down here that I can tell. And so I see him getting out of the car, kind of looking at the situation. He sees these young men, and he realizes maybe he sees the gun, because I see him reaching, his hand is just about on his own gun, and that's when they actually shoot him. So he realized what was going on. He was reaching for his gun, but he didn't get it out quick enough. And and I think what was happening, if I'm getting this right, I just feel like there's another police presence over here. And so it might have been, maybe he was there assessing, and then he had called for backup right about that time, or could be just another policeman kind of had prior knowledge also. But another policeman is coming up to my left, from my left to this policeman. So it could have been the presence of this other policeman showing up that spooked these guys. But all right, let me tune in just a second here and see if there's anything else about that. No, and then they just scattered like the wind, then they just ran off and scattered. I think the police suspected who these young men were. I don't think they were brought to justice. I'm not sure. They're telling me one of them was caught for something else, but they maybe they either didn't have enough evidence to tie him to this killing, or the police don't even know that he was associated and connected with this. Sorry, there's a bird right outside my window here, and I always pay attention to that. They're messengers for me. So it's possible they don't know that whoever this one of the three of them that was arrested. Again, I guess two really stood out that were mostly involved in this. I think the other two were just kind of there by accident or happenstance or whatever other reasons. But I just think that the circumstances surrounding this policeman were not fully known. I don't think that they had enough information, or they didn't. Maybe this other policeman just didn't, he didn't get there in time to really see anything. Okay, I think that's all he's showing me about the incident. But he is now talking about his family. He had a wife and 2 kids that he left behind. It's very sad. And he just loved his family so much, and it was mutual. I hear a lot of stories about, or not a lot, but I hear stories about how difficult it is to be in a partnership with a policeman. Of course it would be. I mean, you'd worry every time they walked out the door. But I just feel like you had a very good relationship. You were very understanding. You knew how much he loved his work. He really, really loved his work. I don't know if he had another family member that was also a policeman, or had been a policeman. I want to say it was an uncle. I think it was his father's brother, perhaps. And it was just something that this man always wanted to do. I mean, I think that he knew that early on, that he wanted to be a policeman, and it was just what he loved. And that you were I say you because I feel like this message is for you, the wife, most likely. Okay. He's saying yes, but. So yes, but. Okay, so that apparently, again, this message is, if anybody knows about this, you recognize the story. Apparently there's something with the police here that maybe they didn't know how many people were involved or something. And so he's saying that would be news to police, if that could help, whatever. So yeah, maybe it was just a complete mystery how this young man died. I don't know, but he was just correcting me, so I wanted to get that right. So I feel like this message then is for whoever is seeing this message, either family or maybe you're a workmate of his, fellow policeman or whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and turn these cards over. Let's see. If you're new here, I don't often know until I pull the cards if this is part of the message about the person or if it's for the viewer. So that's why I'm just going to take a second here and kind of tune in and see what this is about. And also, I do not always read the typical meanings of the tarot cards. They speak to me a little differently because of the kind of reading, the context of this reading. So bear with me here. I'm just getting a storyline more about, okay, all right. There was some deal going down. One of these kids, I'll call them kids, you know, I'm older than dirt, my kids say, so to me, you know, 20-something is a kid. There was something going down. I'm just trying to capture this. One of these kids, it could have been a gang thing, because one of the kids, I think it was the kid that shot him, was under pressure to do something. Now, it might not have been he was under pressure to kill a cop, could have been, but there was some pressure he was at, and he was at the very end of, or at the very, in other words, his back was against the wall about he had to do this or else, whatever it was, whether it was some drug deal that this policeman stumbled on in that moment, or it was, okay, you gotta kill a cop to be in the gang or something like that. I mean, it could have been that. But his back was up against the wall. And they were threatening him. They were threatening him. Well, specifically, they were threatening his family member. They were threatening a woman that he was in his family, either his partner, his mother, his sister. I feel it was more his mother or his sister, family, like blood family. They were threatening him that if he didn't do whatever this thing was that was going down, if he didn't do that, there was going to be retaliation on this woman in his family. And I promise to show you you can kind of see those cards. These are little, so I know they're harder to see. Okay, so this is the King of Swords, the Nine of Swords, the Empress. And I turned the deck around. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, there was some kind of a deal, and it had to do with money. It had to do with also, you know, it may have had to also do with, to earn our trust, you got to do this thing, whatever that was. Again, could have been a drug deal, could have been you got to kill this policeman, you got to something. There was, to get initiated, to get into this, to gain their trust, to get initiated, there had to be, Ace of Pentacles, there had to be this new action on his part, and it had to do with some kind of a money, some kind of a commitment there with that. I think, you know what I'm feeling though? This is so sad. Well, no, what's sad is that this young policeman was killed. It was just, it's a sad state of affairs for the world, because this young man who shot this policeman was scared to death. He wasn't showing it to these guys so much, but inside of him, he was scared to death. He didn't really want to do this thing. I mean, I think he just felt trapped, like he had no choice. What's he going to do, right? Imagine the horrors that he was feeling that this family member was going to endure if he didn't. So I'm not saying it was right. I'm not saying it was justified by any means, but that's what they're showing me. I think he really tried to get out of it, tried to find a way around it. Yeah, he may have even been faced with, you know, his own mortality. You do well, but I think it again was mainly about this family member here. But yeah, he I think he'd put this off once before. I think he had put off this, whatever ultimatum he was given. He had somehow stalled and put it off before, but apparently couldn't. And they said, look, it's time, man. You do this or else there will be repercussions on your family. And he really, although he didn't want to do it, he did feel, he felt that it would open up a new world for him. But at the same time, he knew it would be closing, you know, at the end of a world, which, I mean, that's obvious. If something ends, something else begins. But it was like stepping over a threshold for him, and not one that he would have chosen, I think, on his own to do. Yeah. He was very confused about it for a long time, but I won't go any deeper. That's just, well, yes, I will. I don't like to go too deep in the deck because sometimes the energy gets diluted a bit, but this is all just kind of the same message that's coming through. That and I know I'm not showing you the cards, but they're speaking to me. I hope you'll trust that. Yeah, he realized that if he did whatever, that it was going to change his fortune, so to speak. Took a lot of strength. Again, he tried to resist it, but he loved his family member more. Very simple. He loved his family member more. And what's under that Justice card? Oh yeah, yeah. This is backing up. We got the Justice card, and underneath that, the High Priestess. Again, there was just what I get from that is that the police probably still don't know who did this. That it was hidden. You know, the High Priestess is things that are unseen, and there's a double message there, and that the reason behind this was unseen. His motivation for doing it was unseen. You know, I don't know that his family knew that about this threat. You know, he was trying to handle it without them having to know, this family member. Excuse me. Yeah, but the kingpin, whoever that was, it was the big boss behind this situation. I don't know if he was a drug dealer. I don't know if it was just the gang leader. I don't know what that was about. But apparently, there was something about timing. He couldn't put it off anymore. Something about timing. Whatever this thing was about timing, that had to happen. Not the policeman's dying, but this other, I think. Well, I don't know. It could have been that. Yeah. If that was part of the thing, if that was the thing he had to do, then yeah, there was some kind of timing about he just had to do it. He was up against the wall. So if this message is, you know, it could be for maybe you worked with this man, you could be a policeman or something. I hope that will help you if that puts you on a track of somehow to find the people that did this. And he wants you, the family, the wife and the children, to know how very much he loved you, and he's still watching you. Let's see if I can get some cards on that. I know you can't see those, but you already have, so we'll put those up here. Let's see, what deck? This one? Okay. Let's see, can you give me anything to comfort this mom, this wife and mom, and who was, or family that was left behind? Okay. Can you see those? Almost. Yeah, I felt that Fool card. I felt there's a new beginning. I felt that. Just don't know what yet. Okay, I'm getting more story here. Because there were a number of unanswered questions regarding this death and what went down. I'm speaking to his wife and family that were left behind. I think that was an extra burden for you. It was extra difficult for you after he passed, because there were just these unanswered questions, and maybe rumors were flying that he was in on it, or he was, somehow a party to it, or that could have been one rumor that was floating. And I'm going to tell you, he wasn't. He was not involved in other words, he wasn't a dirty cop at all. No, not this one. To be clear. His heart was always, he just had a very pure heart, this young man. I'm just saying, he did. Spirit is telling me that the truth will come out. The truth will out. That's what they're saying. The truth will out. There is something, I'm not getting this so much from the cards. Y'all, I'm just sorry. The cards are really pretty pictures for you guys sometimes. Yeah, I think you had to defend him, defend whatever accusations there may have been. And you did it honorably and with fervor and adamantly, and he wants you to know how much he appreciates that you stood by his side even after he was gone, even though maybe you had questions unanswered too about the whole situation, but you knew who he was. You knew he was pure in his heart. You knew that. And you knew he would have never done anything untoward or against the law or any of that. So you knew that. And that's why you could stand by his side. I'm just hearing that you're wishing and hoping for the truth, for something to come out that will reveal the truth of this situation, what happened. Naturally you would, of course you would. And they're telling me, yes, that it will. Again, the truth will out, but it may take some time. It may be a little while in coming, a while. He's saying to you, start your life. Don't sit around and mourn him. I mean, he knows you loved him, and that's easier said than done. Believe me, I know. I lost a family member too recently. But he doesn't want you to sit around. He's saying you're too young, you're beautiful. Our kids need, somebody to help raise them. And he said, don't sit around and mourn me. He wants you to get on with your life. He sees how hard you're trying. He sees, you just are a rock, sweetheart. Whoever you are, you're a rock. And awe and admiration for you and what you've had to go through. But he's just saying, start over. Don't sit around. He said, I know you're too smart. You're not going to take a risk. You're not going to jump into anything. You're just too smart for that. You just got a really good head on your shoulders. You're also, interestingly, he's telling me, you're also very intuitive about people. Y'all, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to fix the setup. I know it's shaking the camera, and I apologize. I'm trying not to touch the table. He's saying you're very intuitive about people, that you always were. And sometimes, and I don't know if he ever told you this or not, but there were some things you were discussing, like of a case or somebody that maybe he had arrested or somebody he suspected or something like that, where you commented and you ended up being right, and you kind of put him on some kind of a trail that ended up helping, I don't know if it was solve a case or bring somebody in that needed to be questioned, whatever, but it was, he was a bit in awe and admired your connectedness, shall we say, and he liked that. He said, and I don't think he ever told you that. That's why he wants me to say that to you. But yeah, you helped him with something to do with his police work. Let me see if there's anything here on the bottom of this here deck. He's also acknowledging that he did, I want to say this right now. He didn't give to you equally. This is the Six of Pentacles, is not giving equally or breadcrumbing or those kind of things. He's saying he didn't do that on purpose, and you knew that. You understood it was the job. It was, his passion to be a policeman, and that you didn't, while there were times where you kind of felt that way, you didn't stay there. You didn't linger there. You didn't blame him for it. You didn't, you put your big girl panties on and manned up or womaned up, and you picked up the slack, is what he's telling me. You picked up the slack of what needed to be done when he couldn't be around. And again, I mean, this is a double meaning. Here's a Justice card. To me, it means karma. I think what he's saying is you're such a good person, you built up a lot of good karma. But because right behind this, and he's saying you always, two messages I got here, and you always were the voice of reason, the truth. You always spoke the truth. You didn't hold back, but not in an ugly way. You just were always, he could count on you, and he knew you would tell him if he was ever going coloring outside the lines or whatever. And oh yeah, this is clearly the cards are now just backing up what I was getting. Here, let me show you this. Okay. Oh, I know there's a glare. Hang on. There we go. I think you can see that right. Justice card, Queen of Swords, and Ten of Swords. So what I'm getting from these, oh, this is too good. I love tarot. All right, so remember I said over here where justice will be served, it will just, the truth will out. Well, that's what this is. Somebody's going to get their comeuppance. This Ten of Swords, somebody's going to get their comeuppance. Three of these men, remember how in the beginning I said there was one over here that wasn't kind of involved, just happened to be there, or maybe it could have been just somebody walked up on it, but there were four people. But three of them were the main, and then there's two that stood out. Here's your 3 card. Yeah, I'm seeing justice will be served, the truth will come out. These people will be held accountable. These 3 people will be held accountable, and they will have their own tower moment. They will, yes. They will have their own tower, and Spirit said, yes, that is the truth. King of Swords, that is the truth, and they will have their day of remorse. That was all on the bottom of the deck, y'all. They will have their day of remorse. And, yeah, the Ten of Cups, it's usually a happy card, but it can also be read as too much of a good thing, an illusion, in other words. And that I think, is applying to these young men. They had the illusion that whatever they were doing was going to be, you know, I'm going to be rich, or I'm going to be in the gang, or I'm going to be whatever that was, and they're about to find out, yeah, because there's too many secrets and too many hidden things, and there's a lot of fear here. And and then the judgment cards, yeah, so this to me, this can be a reawakening, a rebirth, reconciliation, that kind of thing, lots of meanings. But in this context, it's going to be a resurgence of the truth. That's exactly what I'm getting from that. These guys have been hiding, and now it's about to come out. Yep. They've been hiding away. Yeah, I'll just backing me up. I'm not going to go any deeper, but the truth will out. I guess that's what I will title this one, The Truth Will Out. Okay, I think that's all the messages. Let me just check in one more time. You're very welcome. Okay. He just wants you to know that he sees that you are holding up. Oh, wait, what? Oh, okay. No, I thought it was a hidden card. It wasn't. That you have done an beyond admirable, more than admirable job of taking care of the family since he's been gone, taking care of, oh, now, and he's saying his family, apparently, you know, his parents or whatever, that you have borne that way and you've done it well, and he's very, very, very grateful. He's watching you. He's looking in on you. There was something that happened. I think you have a little boy and a little girl. Something happened with your son recently. It was something, okay, I'm getting two different incidents. One is he was riding some kind of a toy, you know, like, not a three-wheeler, but some kind of a tricycle or something. I don't know what it was, but something. He was like, I can see him, I think he got mud on his something, and there was a conversation about him bringing mud in the house or something like that, and he responded like, well, Daddy, it was okay when Daddy did it, or something about that connection to Daddy. Maybe you said something to your husband, this policeman. Maybe you said something to him one time. You told him not to bring mud in that. I don't know, but there's some association with that. And then also reading a book. You were reading a book to him, and he was, or maybe you were telling him in the book, yeah, this is like Daddy. Maybe you have a book about a policeman. There was something about Daddy when you were reading the book. Because you want him to remember his daddy as a hero. You want him to remember him, obviously. That's sweet. But something, the little boy, you know, he's so young. I think he's only like 3 or 4. He's very young. He could be 5 now, but when he passed, I wish I could get clearer on what this thing is with the book, but you were sitting on the bed, on his bed, the little boy's bed, reading a book, or on the side of a bed. It looks like a twin bed that a kid would sleep in. There was something that maybe he remembered about his dad, and you were surprised that he remembered it because he is so young. Something like that, maybe. But it's something about this book. Or maybe it could just be as simple as you have a book that you read to him about a policeman, or a story about a policeman, and because you're trying to, you know, keep that in the forefront of his mind and remind him of who his dad is. It could be that simple. So he's saying he sees that. Your husband sees that, and he wants you to know he's still looking in on you. He's still watching you, and he's still looking over you, most importantly. He's still with you, yeah. He said, I'm a policeman. I was a policeman in life, and I'm policing it still, something to that effect. He said, I'm still a policeman over here, in that he looks after you. He's a protector. He's there watching over you and protecting you. Okay, and now that he's pulling his energy back, so I will leave that there, and real quickly tell you, excuse me, how you can get a free reading with me if you're interested. I will be drawing the names sometime the first week of December and announcing it in a separate video, so stay tuned for that. So all you have to do, this is for new subscribers, all you have to do is subscribe and then write in a comment on any of the videos. I will get it if it's a new comment. And just say, I'd like a free reading. And remember, when I pull your name, it will be your YouTube name. So if your YouTube name is Hello Kitty and your actual name is John Doe, I'm going to announce that Hello Kitty won the reading. So just be mindful of that. And then I'll have the instructions of how to claim it and all that in the video. So look for that specific video for that in the first week of December. Okay, that's it, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I always value your time. I know you're busy people and a lot of good readers out here, so thank you for tuning in to my reading today. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I wish you all many blessings. Take care. Bye.